Hey boys and girls, welcome back to school. Happy January and Happy New Year. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday break. We're ready to get back to it, and I know I'm ready to see you in the library. So over the holidays, I don't know if you did a lot of reading, but I know I did a whole lot of reading, and I found some great new books just for you. So listen in for just a minute and see if anything sounds interesting to you. This book right here is a brand new one to our library. It's called How Mirka Caught a Fish. This is a graphic novel with a very interesting heroine. Mirka is an 11-year-old Jewish girl. She's Orthodox Jewish, which means she follows her religion's rules very closely. But the story is actually more about relationships. Mirka has a crazy family situation that you'll learn about, and she gets stuck babysitting her little sister. And in the process, they run into this magic fish that causes some big problems. So Mirka goes through things, and you'll find out at the end she actually learns a lot about not only what it means to be a good babysitter, but also how to handle a stepmother that you don't always understand well. So Mirka, How Mirka Caught a Fish. It's a great graphic novel if you're looking for something new. This is Old Wolf by Avi. It's a great nature story. It's kind of like the Gary Paulson books a lot of people like. This follows Nashoba, who is an aging wolf as he tries to find food for his pack. And in a dual storyline, Casey is a 13-year-old boy who just got a brand new bow and arrow that he can't wait to go try out in the woods. And their two stories kind of connect. It doesn't end quite the way I thought it would, but it's a very interesting read. It's not too thick, and it's a good story. I think you'd like it. Forgotten Bones. This is a nonfiction story. It's one of those books I never would have chosen to read if I hadn't been here in this job looking for something new for you. And I'm so glad I read it. This talks about a group of archaeologists who discovered a slave graveyard cemetery when they were actually looking to put up a building, and it goes all the way through how archaeologists do their job. So if you're interested in the past, if you're interested in digging stuff up and actually learning the forensic science behind how things are used and found and how they figure stuff out, very interesting read. I think you'd like it. This next one. This is Bamboo Sword. This is a historical fiction. It's set in the 1850s. Yoshi is a young boy in Japan. And in the 1850s, in the history of Japan, they were very secluded from the rest of the world. While all the other countries in the world were sailing on ships and building up bigger guns, well, Japan had kind of decided to stick to itself. So in the 1850s, a ship arrives on the coast of Japan, and this story actually takes Yoshi through a lot of time where he learns what it means to be a hero. Because you see, Yoshi kind of messes everything up. I don't know if you've ever felt like you just can't do anything right. Well, that's poor Yoshi. But he makes some interesting new friends, and you'll learn a lot of interesting history in Bamboo Sword. It's a good story. Rules for Stealing Stars. Now, this one is really deep. It's a pretty serious book. It's certainly not funny or silly in any way. Silly is the main character, and she's the youngest sister. And she gets left out a lot. I don't know if you have any brothers or sisters, and maybe they're older and maybe they leave you out of things. Well, that's what happens to Silly. And it's actually a story of family. It's how family comes together and how family deals with life when things really aren't great. Silly's mom is pretty sick, and there's some things going on that make it really hard. And so the family, it moves, and they have to be in this new house, but there's this magic closet that they find. In fact, there's several magic closets that they find. And it kind of helps them cope with the bad situation going on. Interesting story. Be prepared for a little bit of tear jerking and to get into a story. It's pretty complex, so be ready for it. On the complete flip side, if you want something completely different, this is Captain Coconut and the Case of the Missing Banana. This is a very silly mystery. It's goofy. There's not a lot of words on the pages. It's kind of funny, and it's just a really different style than what I'm used to reading, but lots of cool pictures. So if you like math, if you like bananas, if you like a good mystery, check out Captain Coconut. And the last book that I've got for you that has just come in, this is a biography, and this is The Voice of Freedom, the voice of Fannie Lou Hamer. She was part of the civil rights movement in the 1960s here in our country, and this biography of her life gives a really interesting twist and a viewpoint that we don't get to read a whole lot about. It's a good, easy read, but it's got a lot of good information. It's written in kind of a poetic way, so each section is really short and easy to understand as you learn about the sacrifices that people make to make change. And this book really made me think about, what would I do to make changes? What's important enough to me that I would turn my life upside down to make it right? And that shows the kind of courage that Fannie Lou Hamer had. So that's just a couple of the new books that we've got in the library. I hope you'll take some time to check them out. They'll be in the new books display when you come on in. So I'll see you real soon. Have a great day.